Hello once again, Acerich here with the key points and updates of the last 24 hours of the Amirdrassil Race to World First. Let's get it. Some of the biggest news that we saw yesterday is that Blizzard pushed in some buffs to the final 3 bosses of the raid. They have said in interviews that they want the race to end before Thanksgiving this year, but it looks like they're not quite ready for it to end just yet. Yesterday was a big day for Mythic progress as lots of top guilds finally stepped into the Mythic raid, like Liquid, Echo, Skyline, and even Method, whose casters are just tickled about it. Meanwhile, Echo's casters are up to their old shenanigans as usual.
It's fine, no one's watching, you're safe.
It's all good!
First up yesterday was Liquid, who slammed through the early Mythic bosses as expected, claiming World 2nd on Naimu and Laradar. Once they finally made their way to Smolderon, they saw some pretty massive early gains with the pull getting them all the way down to 29.5% before they discovered a confirmed bug that forced them to take a break for dinner, keys, and other stuff.
Hold on, let me pull off a little skip.
I think I have to I'm
Oh my god!
Liquid's roster saw a lot of interesting changes during this fight as they sort of felt out the mechanics as they dropped a rogue for a hunter, swapped a rogue, dropped a hunter for a rogue, dropped another hunter and a mage for another rogue and a shaman, and all sorts of interesting things while they sort of figured it out, but it did pay off in the end as they got their first world first kill of the race on the board against Mythic Smolderon.
Tanks, come on.
Beacon Scott.
Come on, Scott. Yep.
Come on, bro.
Wait a second. Haven't I seen this before?
Come on,
You
Scott.
got this.
Let him focus.
Come on.
Let's go!
Meanwhile, in the EU, Echo slammed through early Mythic bosses as well, but met an unusual stop against Mythic Laradar last night as they stayed up past their scheduled bedtime to force a kill, which started to show the signs of fatigue, meaning it took them a little bit longer than you would have expected. But they did eventually claim World 3rd Mythic Laradar and have been slamming through the rest of the bosses, and as of recording this have caught up to Mythic Smolderon with a best pull of 70.05%. Method is also smashing through the early bosses of the Mythic raid, and as of recording this are at 4 out of 9 Mythic. But we expect them to prove us wrong before we send this video live.
Yesterday, I remember you saying the only thing that can really wipe you now is if the melee don't soak.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
at
yeah.
that point, it's just like if the melee soak, we win. But yeah, it's 1%. We got it. Let's go. Alright, that
Good
went good.
job, guys.
That
So-
went good.
3 tries.
That was
completely.
Meanwhile, Conspiracy claimed World 3rd against Mythic Naimu yesterday, with BDG hot on their heels claiming a World 4th, and the guild XD claiming World 5th. Then, BDG moved on to Laradar for a World 4th kill there, and joined a lot of the current guilds progressing on Smolderon. 2 top CN guilds, Endmyth and Skyline, are in an intense competition for best guild in the region, and top 6th guild in the world overall. We saw them duke it out against Mythic Naimu, with Skyline pulling ahead with a 44 pull kill against the boss. So here is the current standing of our top guilds in the Mythic Race to World First, but these guilds are smashing through the raid, so expect this to change rapidly and throughout the course of the entire day. Some people are even predicting a potential week 1 end to this race, but we're not so sure. What do you think? We also want to give a very special shout out to the team over at the Dungeon Dojo who just hit their donation goal for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So, if you want to see their head, Wochi, dress up like Mario, you'll now have the opportunity to. Very highly recommended. Splits are pretty much over at this point, so we've got an actual race on our hands now. Some people have given their thoughts about how to fix the splits problem, with some being more productive than others, but we're just waiting to see if all those splits will be enough to kill this race week 1, or if it gets pushed into another reset.